October 31st. It is Hollow White Paper Day. It is White Paper Day. So the real holidays are actually tomorrow, All Saints Day, and the day after All Souls Day. However, there's a new holiday on tap, and it is today. The true holiday on this day is White Paper Day. This is when Halloween really starts. We don't need to go death and destruction and all this chaos agent and garbage on Halloween. It's a garbage holiday anyway. Sorry for you Halloween lovers. But the real news is on October 31st, 2008. Satoshi Nakamoto posted the Bitcoin white paper on this day into the wild, into the cypherpunk, I believe it was the Bitcoin Talk forums, and that is where, or became that, the cypherpunk, forums, I guess, talk forums online. But he posted the Bitcoin white paper on this day, and what we know now is the Bitcoin Talk forums. But this was the landmark for true money, real money coming into existence. The first time in human history, humans actually had money. And people can argue all they want. Someday I will get a chance to debate Mike Maloney. Someday I will get a chance to directly debate George Gammon. We have some workings to have Robert Kiyosaki eventually in reaching out and getting many people into the Bitcoin trading cards that we have been working on our company, but we will get Robert Kiyosaki on there. We'll get Mike Maloney someday, and George Gammon, because they are Bitcoiners. Many of them, all three of them own Bitcoin, hold Bitcoin, but they aren't true Bitcoiners yet. They have the ethos. They're freedom-minded, liberty-oriented, but people like that. I have many friends and family that are like them as well. They are true Bitcoiners. They just don't know it yet. But this is the day that started it all, when we actually had true money come into existence for the first time in human history. Gold and silver have been the hardest money, the best money we've had for 5,000 plus years. But there still is a small inflation rate. The energy that it takes to get gold and silver out of the ground is a great representation of the actual value you transfer to buy a good or a service with it. It's perfect, it's beautiful. But the problem is there's still a little bit of an inflation rate. And the other problem, because obviously when the price goes up of it, or the value goes up, people are then incentivized to mine more of it. So that's part of it. But also you have that little inflation rate, but the time and space problem. Gold and silver are great over time, but they're not great over space. If you buy something right here in America and you're trying to get something on the other side of the world, there's no final settlement. You have to use claim checks or IOUs basically. Bitcoin solves those problems. True digital scarcity. It solves the problems that have come about through fiat currencies or gold and silver, the honeypots, the centralization, etc. That's the beauty of Bitcoin. And because that finite nature, you actually have this ability to store your time, your finite time, in a finite container of money. That's really all money is at the end of the day. If you want to explain it to someone who really doesn't know what money is a container for your time and energy. So what kind of container are you putting in? Something with a hole in it? Your finite container, or your finite time is going into a container with a leaky hole, an inflationary hole? Or is your finite time going into a finite container that, I shouldn't say finite container because the value of it can grow over time, but is it in a locked and sealed container that doesn't have an inflationary hole at the bottom? That is the difference. And it grows over time in Bitcoin because it's diametrically opposed to the printing and the devaluation of fiat currencies and the slight inflation there is in gold and silver. So they really, there is no match. That's why Bitcoin is called the apex predator asset, because it is the true money, the first time we've ever had true money, a true representation of a human's time. Finite time for a finite asset. No other asset in the world is truly finite. And there's finite like assets, right, like gold and silver, right? But we just said there's that small inflationary aspect to it. There's not a true finite nature to it. So the only smart trade, finite for finite, is Bitcoin and time and Bitcoin. That's why it's an equal trade, finally, for the first time. And we have this problem where we don't need to go back. We don't need to go back in time, and we actually have the revolutionary change that humans have needed to represent their time and energy. Never before in human history, today is a day that white paper was sprung into the world and put into the collective consciousness of how to do this, how to put this together. And Bitcoin is the end. The final point is that Bitcoin is the end of the road. It's digital fire, the wheel. You don't invent the wheel again. People are saying, oh, Ethereum's it, and there's 20, 30, 50,000 other altcoins. Yes, but Bitcoin is open source. But because of the properties of Bitcoin, there's no pre-mine, it's the first mover advantage, all of these reasons, nothing's going to beat it now. Bitcoin was the end of the line. It's not the beginning of the line. That's where most people don't understand that Bitcoin was being worked on, and people trying to find this, the cypherpunks, programmers, developers were trying to find this for decades. And they finally, Satoshi, he, she, they, put it together in the right order, in the correct fashion that gave us Bitcoin. That is the difference. That's the true discovery of fire, of the wheel, and we can't discover that again. So all these other coins are cheap imitations at best of Bitcoin and what it's trying to be. And there may be other types of utility token type things, but they're going to be built on the Bitcoin layers eventually, layer 2, 3, 4, 5, 7, 10. Over time, that's how the internet's built, and that's how the new internet is being built on Bitcoin. The new system, the new monetary system being built right alongside this fiat legacy sinking debt-based system we are in. It couldn't be more perfect timing, and it's pretty incredible that it came out in 2009 in really the end of the last system, and now we're in the last vestiges. The ship is now half sunk, and it's about to pitch up and break in half. But we have Bitcoin here, the life rafts, to jump on. So come aboard. Please share this out. The algorithm hates truth. Happy white paper day. Trust but verify. Question everything with boldness, even the existence of God himself. And this is not financial advice. It is freedom advice. And we look forward to seeing you on the next one.